Appreciate you guys being here. Just got off the field. Good November day. Happy Veterans Day to everybody out there. Obviously talked about that in our team meeting this morning. Got some people a part of the program that are veterans. So appreciate everybody's service out there. You know, sometimes they get one day, but and then obviously we're gonna have military appreciation for the game. Also Senior Day. So exciting week around here for us for a lot of reasons. Obviously, we've got to win these next two games with an opportunity to keep our season going. So just reflecting back on Youngstown, obviously went out there disappointed to get on that plane on the ride home and not come away with a win. Um, got off to a fast start and credit to them. I think that when they did what they needed to do in the third quarter. They scored on every drive in the second half, and we had some critical moments. I really feel like that drive. They got the ball out at halftime and scored. We have an opportunity right there to go and score ourselves. Hit a big play, hit an explosive, and got a penalty and then missed a throw, and then had to settle for a long field goal, get a delay a game, so we punt down to the 10, and then they rip off a big play. I feel like that series of events, if we can go and score on that drive and recapture some momentum, and so it was a team loss. It's a credit to them, obviously. Bo, their quarterback is as advertised. I think he's the top two or three player in the country, probably the most valuable player to their team, I would say, in the country. As far as one guy, they have a talented team. It's got talented skill players, but he had a heck of a game, and he's been doing that consistently all year. So we're blessed with the great opportunity. I'm glad that we're playing two really good teams here to end the season, starting with South Dakota this week. I think Coach Johansson has done a great job this year, right? They lose a couple games early and then just kind of steadied the ship. They've played three games at home. They've won two rivalry games in a row, playing with a lot of momentum. I think when you turn on the tape, which they've had the last couple years, is a team that just really knows its identity and how they're going to go about winning football games, and they stick to it. Veteran quarterback that's won a lot of football games, been a lot of big spots. I mean, late in the season, a veteran quarterback is um, is big, and they're going to run the football. They're going to play a physical brand of football defensively. They've played really well the last few seasons. It's no different this year, right? They know exactly who they are and where they're supposed to be. They're going to play discipline. They're going to make you earn it. And so we got to be at our best. We got to be at our best when our best is called for. And I'm excited about the challenge and the opportunity. You want to be able to play big games in November, and we're blessed with that opportunity this Saturday.
Thanks, Coach. Let's go ahead with questions now, starting with Bucky.
Good morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good. How's it going? Sun's up for you. Got the camera on. It's a good
Yep,
day out there. A little
yep,
chilly, a little windy.
yep. Saw the look. Last I looked, the wind was blowing about 20 miles an hour, but looks like it's going to be a lot better for you on Saturday.
Yeah, that's what they
Um,
say.
it's supposed to be in the 70s, I hear. But anyway, I was going to ask. You kind of touched on some of the details of went wrong in the third quarter. Youngstown State, obviously, a big day offensively. How much of it was what they did, and how much of it was what you guys didn't do what you really wanted to do defensively?
Yeah, it's probably a combination of both, right? You know, we didn't stop them in the second half. We had them in some great down and distances, some opportunities. Um, you know, you going into that game, that's what I said. I mean, we were going to have to score points in that game to win the football game. 12 is, you know, is an electric kid, and so he rushed for a lot of yards on scrambles, some explosive runs. They had 20 So, um, they did a great job, and then they were able to break off some big runs with not the quarterback, and so we got them down into the red zone, and they were good at punching the ball in. We talked about that all week as far as like they've got some explosive playmakers, but we got to get them tackled, and we can't give up explosive plays for touchdowns. And then we weren't able to get them stopped. I think they were 6 of 6 in the red zone with touchdowns. I think we were 6 of 6 with scoring opportunities, 5 of 6 for touchdowns, and just wasn't enough. And so I think when you look at it holistically as a team, I think speaking offensively too, like we had, a couple drives there that we had opportunities to do more with as well, with opportunities that are on the field to go and score touchdowns and put that thing, whether it's going to be 48-45 right there in that last drive being an opportunity to go win the game. We just couldn't get that stop to get the ball back and go recapture the lead. And so um, I guess to answer your question a little bit of both. Obviously, there's things that we can do better, and then they made a lot of plays.
You touched on the offense's day. I mean, 38 points and over 500 yards is good production. But you go back and look, like you mentioned, the couple of drives you had when it was like one when it was 24-14, and you end up missing a long field goal and the one to start the third quarter. At least if you get something out of that drive at halftime, especially if it's a touchdown, how much different is it psychologically if it's 31-14 going into the half as opposed to 24-14?
Well, I think that's easy to answer, right? That's a simple question. I mean, we would love to score a touchdown. We called a play that we felt like had an opportunity. They deferred, so going back and which we do in every week, like how we played the end, we did not want to give, 12 an opportunity with like a minute left to go on a 2-minute drive. If you watch those drive consistently throughout the year, he's a problem to stop. So we were going to take the time off the clock and in the half with the ball and not give them 2 possessions in a row with an explosive offense like that. So, feel good about the play that we called, down there. Took a shot at the end zone. DJ's going to throw it and got strip sacked there. So right there, we were at the probably the furthest that we're going to kick a field goal. And then that's where we were going to when you get a strip sack with I think there was 13 seconds when they originally put the time back on. We were calling timeout at that point to stop the clock because it was going to take forever to get everybody back. It's a strip sack. The time's winding down, get settled in, and then go from there. But ended up saving the time. Probably could have ran the ball right there on the last play and make that field goal a little bit shorter. But when you're right there on the fringe too, calling another shot play, taking a sack, and then you're out of field goal range when you're right there on the kick spot to kick a 50-yard field goal, it's probably something we wouldn't do again. And so, but yeah, I mean, going down there and scoring, obviously we got the ball and we went on a long drive, which was a positive. And then Paul hit a good kick, we gotta make those and those opportunities, hit it well, missed it, but still going into the half, not letting them have momentum into the half. And then we got to be able to get a stop at a halftime or we got to go score. And then, like you said, they scored. It's 24-21. On the second play of the second half, we hit whatever it was, 40-yard play, 50-yard play. And we're right there in the high red zone and we don't get points out of that. And so that was probably, like I said in the opening remarks, like that series of plays, if we can go right back down and score and make it 31-21. Is it a different game? I don't know, but we need to do that as an offense is keep scoring. We had offensive production, we moved the ball, but sometimes in those shootout type games, which it became, you just got to keep scoring.
You're talking about South Dakota too. My last question here. Obviously there had to be a little bit of adjustment period, I guess, from hearing a different voice after Bob Nielsen retired and all that. Have you noticed I mean, are they kind of back to playing? Not that they probably ever left it, but are they really not back to playing their brand of football, their identity with being tough and physical and running the ball and playing physical defense?
Yeah, I don't think that's changed. I mean, Coach Johansson's been there for a long time, right? And that's probably they handed the reins over to him, felt good about, if it's not broken, don't fix it, right? It's like so yeah, it's a similar type style. Obviously, he's going to put his changes on the program and but a lot of the same personnel. You have the same quarterback coming back. You want to keep him comfortable in the things that he's done well. Um, Great running game. He leads the country in rushing. So, you get into a game, this is their last game of the season. They're going to rely on when you get to game 11, 12, there's an identity of what you do well and what you want to ask your guys to do. So it's going to be no different. They want to play physical. They want to shorten the game up. They'll throw play action passes and push the ball down the field. And so that's what we got to be ready for.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Bucky. Matt, you can go whenever you're ready.
Morning, Nick. How are you?
Good. What's up, Matt?
Not too much. Coach, have you seen the response that you'd hope to see in recent days after the way the Saturday ended?
Yeah, I haven't questioned these guys one bit. We got good leadership on this team. Anybody that's around or in the building, spirited practices. We did the same thing. People asked that when we got beat by North Dakota. Um, and it's not always been that way, right? It's not always been that way. There's been limited distractions on this team. I feel like our younger guys are doing an outstanding job at practice, giving us great looks on the scout team. Uh, and just a response. They're a joy to be around, really. Sunday, right back in here. Obviously, it's my job to set the message of the team, how we're going to respond, how I'm going to respond, how the coaching staff is going to respond. Um, and we've been blessed with an opportunity, how our schedule lays out, and we're blessed that South Dakota has gotten two big wins the last 2 weeks. That this can be a big game, and so that's our sole focus right now. Is that um, you know playoff football and really for them too, right? They want to go into the playoffs, so it will be a playoff type atmosphere where we know we have to win. And so the response of these guys, man, the leadership, the guys that we got 28 seniors, I think, walking on senior day. So I haven't questioned one bit about how these guys have went about their preparation or how they've played on the field. I mean, if on the trip to Youngstown, we came out and our guys have been ready to play. As far as being ready to go, we have to sustain that against good teams for 4 quarters. There's going to be highs and lows in every game. You're not going to keep the momentum from snap one. We hit a huge play on the first play of the game, obviously, but there's 59 minutes left to go in the game, right? And you're playing good teams. They're going to capture some momentum. They're going to hit some plays. We got to be able to respond. We got to be able to recapture momentum, create momentum for ourselves. We got to be able to go in the locker room, come back out and do that. But as far as the want to, the effort, the focus, the coachability of this group has been outstanding.
Going back to what you just said, does it feel like your playoffs start this week, Coach?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean that's easy for anybody to look at too. We have an opportunity against a ranked opponent who's ranked higher than we are right now. We need one of those wins, and yeah, I mean we got to win. We've got to go out there and play at our best when our best is needed. I said that there at the very beginning. Every team in the country will find themselves at that point whether it's late in the season or when the playoffs start, like, hey, we have to win this game to keep our season going. And pressure is a good thing, right? Like if there's not shying away from like a lot on that game. Like you want to play in those. Like it's not the ones that are easy or you should win and you win by a bunch. Like competitive games against really good opponents, and you got to go be at your best.
Well, and it feels like this has become kind of something that obviously we ask about it some way or fashion every year. But is seven enough to make the postseason? I feel like you probably know better than anybody about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this league will create it. You look around the league, there's a bunch of us that are right there with the same, saying the same thing. With the same records. I don't know, Youngstown, North Dakota, South Dakota, us. When you play in this league, you're going to have a bunch of them at the end of the year with that because you got 7 teams ranked in the top 25 in the same league. So you play each other um, each and every week, and people, you know, uh, beat each other up. And it's no different. South Dakota State, has lost 3 in a row, got a win down the stretch. Like we're all going to find ourselves in that point, and so we've got to focus on us. We got to focus on this week, not worrying about if 7 or 8. Like to be, my vision is we got 2 games left, and so the expectation is 8, right? Like that's everybody in the building should have that expectation, just like South Dakota is expect, we'll have the expectation to come win. Like that's the league that we play in. There's high expectations, and we're no different.
And I just wanted to touch on something that you mentioned in your opening statement. With it being cold, I know Saturday it's supposed to warm up some, and so you want to deal with the cold too much. But do you recruit at all for the cold, especially being in Illinois and knowing the nature of how fickle it can be around this area?
No, I don't think so. I mean, you probably know what type of. I mean, we have a lot of guys that are from colder parts of the country than here. And then we have a lot of guys, which they do too, Florida and down south, and that come up here that just, if you want to play high level football, right? I always use this as an example. If Green Bay, drafts you, are you gonna be asking them about the weather or where you want to be drafted or playoff games in the NFL, which they all want to play in, are played in December, January, and February, right? And so you're playing in Pittsburgh and Buffalo and New York and Chicago. Like it's just it's part of the game, right? It can't even be a question. If you want to be tough and gritty and you want to play this game, like you got to play. The championships are won outdoors in bad weather times of the year. And that's just whether you're in high school, you're going into the quarterfinals this week for Illinois high school, like, and you're playing up north, like it is what it is, right? And so we have to be good at, and here we get a little bit of everything. Um, and so, we've played in the rain. We've practiced in the rain the last couple of weeks. We've played in the cold, and it's windy today. Just got to go out there, business as usual, no matter what.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Matt. Dan Verdin couldn't be here from the Prairie State Pigskin, but he sent in a couple questions, Coach. First on Eddie Robinson, he asked, "How has the development of Eddie contributed to this offense so far this season?"
Yeah, it's playing at a high level. I mean, it's easy to see on the tape. He's obviously led us in carries here the last 3 to 4 weeks. He's an explosive kid, and really just his development off the field as well. And he's come along. He's a weapon out of the backfield. Caught the opening touchdown pass this past week. He's got great ball skills, and really, I've been saying that. I think somebody on here maybe a couple weeks ago. I mean, Ed runs with behind his pads. I mean, Ed runs physical. He'll stick his foot in the ground and get north and south. He also has the ability to bounce things and hit some explosive runs.
Dan's other question, Coach, was, which unit of your team have you seen the most improvement from so far this fall?
What's the biggest area of improvement?
Which unit have you seen the most improvement from this season?
Yeah, I don't know that. I mean, that's tough. I think, you know, as you reflect, I don't think there's one that sticks out that just says that we were, you know, that playing that poorly, and then now has made a big jump. But I think there's a lot of guys that have consistently grown and got better. I think when you look at our run game, averaging over 200 yards a game, running the football, um, you know, so that's a credit to up front. Those guys have been consistent, and then the backs, and then obviously DJ's a part of that as well. And so um, I think there's been some consistency, and some groups, but I couldn't really point out one group that's just made a huge jump.